Hello, I'm Chanel and welcome to my wrap up for the month of December. So I'm going to start with my life updates, and this month was a mixed bag. I'll start with the bad. Financially, this was the worst month I've ever had in my entire life. Some things that were out of my control happened that caused me to lose money, but I am trying not to stress about it. I still have enough to pay my bills and put food on the table. And I'm trying to be in the mentality that I can make more. Money can be created. I'll be okay. I think the reason that I am being positive about it is because my health this month has been phenomenal. So anyone with chronic illness knows you have way more bad days than good. And a good day is a day when you have no pain, no chronic fatigue, no symptoms of your particular condition, and you have so many spoons that you just don't know what to do with them. You just feel like a normal person. And out of this month, I'd say about 18 of the days so far, I have been really good. And I don't know why. It's one of those things like, have I done anything different? No. My body's just saying, hey, you've had a pretty rough year. We're going to be nice to you, and you can actually go and enjoy your life and actually live out your days, because that's what it's like when you don't have any spoons. You're in survival mode all the time. You have to make peace with the fact that you can't do what you want to do. You can't get done what you want to get done. You can't be who you want to be, and it's hard to live with. So having had all these great days, it's like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder, like, when's it going to end? But so far I've just had a day here or there when I've gone back to my usual, when I've had a flare up, but otherwise, yeah, it's been phenomenal. And I am so happy because I've really needed it, and after the financial setback, like I think I needed that health to get me through, that resilience. So I know it'll eventually end. It always does with chronic illness, but at the moment I'm riding the wave, baby, as long as I can. I am doing all things. I am seeing my friends. I'm going out and having experiences, and I'm living it up. So health-wise, great this month. In terms of family, no one I loved passed away. That's the main thing. As long as I didn't have to go to any loved one's funeral, it's a good month. Everything else can go wrong, but everyone I love is still here and alive and breathing and well, and I can put my arms around them and I can hear their voice. And that is the most important thing to me, because as you might have known if you've been watching my channel this year, I had a lot of deaths in the family. Too many for 1 year. I had my relationship end too, and that was like another death to me, the death of, a future with that person. So it's been a full-on year. I know a lot of people have said, I just hope that you have a better year next year. I do too. I really do. Ever since 2020, it's just got, when I got divorced, it's just gotten worse and worse, So but I have really good feeling about next year. I don't know why. There's no basis or foundation for it. I just have a good feeling. It's going to be a year of more ups than downs overall. And I did pull the star card for it, but myself, I have pulled a sun card. I'm like, you know what? I know it's very cliche, but that's the energy I want this year. That's what I'm going to. All sunshine and rainbows and positivity and happiness and strength and vitality, all that jazz. So here's to manifesting that. But this month has been full of activities. It's Christmas. It's the end of the year, the school year. There were so many school events for V, who was finishing grade 6. So we had Christmas carols, and we had her graduation, and we had discos and dances, and we had transitions to high school. So there were a lot of events that we did this year. Caught up with a lot of loved ones. So my cousin, we had just a fantastic day, hitting up like all the cafes and gelato places and having chats and going to the parks. So that was lovely. I've just been really trying to nourish all of my friendships and meet up. I was supposed to meet up with one of my other besties, but it was just every single time we went to meet up, something happened, and it didn't happen. But I'll hope to see her soon. If you might have noticed, my handle has changed from Spirit of Stardust 11 to just Spirited Stardust. At the time when the handles went live, I couldn't get that. Someone else had claimed it, and I was low-key annoyed because no one else had the channel name Spirit of Stardust. But out of nowhere, I just had this feeling it was available. So I thought I'd try it again, and I got it. So it's now just Spirited Stardust, like my name. So I'm very happy with that, because the 11 on the end annoyed me. Just not my channel name. A lot of people did my end of year tarot tag, and I loved watching every single one of their videos. So thank you for participating in that. That was awesome. I loved all of the extra prompts people added, all the spins and twists and flavor they put on it. It was a delight. The only other thing that I can think of that I did this month was I got a tarot and psychic reading. Never gotten that done before, always read for myself, but I just had this feeling to get my cards read by somebody else and to get some message that needed to get to me that I couldn't get to myself. So I went with Laura Downs, and her reading was amazing. The night before, I had a dream about a situation, and then I woke up and I saw that she had emailed me a link to the reading, and then I watched the reading, and she brought up the dream. And it was one of those readings where it was just confirmation and very synchronistic, and it's like there's no possible way. It was a very specific thing that happened, you know, and it blew me away. It was very illuminating. I got a lot from it. I was very impressed with her skills, and it has really given me direction. That, like I said, there was this very specific thing that was concerning this dream, and like choices to make about it, and what I'd already felt it meant and what I had to do. And then to hear it actually said exactly, this is the situation and you need to do this about it. I'm like, okay, well, thank you very much, because I probably would have doubted myself. Even though a lot of my dreams, I dream a lot, I lucid dream, I get premonitions and things like that. Sometimes I will not put weight on them, even though I feel like this is important and this is telling me this. I will still not make that decision just based on the dream. It's just, I doubt the truth of my dreams sometimes. And it's just another thing going forward. It's like, no, if you're feeling this emotion connected to this dream and your intuition is telling you to do this, because she also in the reading brought up about me doubting my own intuition, listen to it. So that's another thing going forward into next year, is listening to my intuition. The word that I got, so I do a shuffle of the Sovereign Oracle and pick my word of the year, and it was alignment, and it said to go with energy first over matter. And that is, once again, another thing that I am going to try and be doing, to really listen to the energy and not so much try to put my logical spin on things. Energy first, intuition first, matter and logic will follow. And the sort of like phrase that has just really stuck with me because of the events of this year is memento mori. And it's the phrase itself means that remember that you will die. So it's alluding to the impermanence of life, and to really enjoy yourself while you are here, because life is precious and you will die someday. And by remembering that you will die, you will actually live. And so that's kind of also my phrase going into 2024. I'll just touch briefly upon dating. So as you know, I started dating again this year. Nothing came of it. There were no romantic connections made. I didn't go on more than 2 dates with one person. And I would, as the year got on, I would get very exhausted by going on the dates. So I'd go on one date and then I would go into hiatus for 3 weeks, because even just chatting to people online takes energy, and I just found myself not wanting to give spoons to that. I just didn't see the value in it. I wasn't getting anything from it. It was a very anxious experience for me. I always dreaded going on the dates. There was not a single date that I was actually excited about. And so I thought, yeah, no, it's not for me. And I've spent the last, I don't know how many weeks, I think it's 8 weeks now. The last date I went on wasn't even for me. It was with a guy that I thought would be good for my friend. So the last date I went on for myself, I think it was in October. But yeah, I haven't spoken to anybody since. But yeah, there's been no connections, and I'm just almost not even on the app. I go on once a week now, and I don't know, I just have this feeling it's not going to happen through the app. But at the same time, I don't want to delete the app because I'm not meeting people in the real world. So I'm in this very weird in-between space where it's like, I don't think I'm going to meet the person on the app, but it's a safety net that I'm not comfortable enough to get rid of yet. You know, it's like, I'll keep it there. Who knows, maybe they will pop up in there, but I feel like it's not going to happen. I just need to put myself out in the world more, get out of my cave so that I can be found. But yeah, if I do go on any dates, of course, you'll see it in the Melbourne Diaries, but don't get your hopes up. I know like some of the tales are a bit juicy, but yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for a very long time. And I'm just very much in my own energy at the moment. I'm just enjoying myself. I think because I have my health, I just don't give a shit about romance at the moment. Like my health is just so much more meaningful to me. Just if I had to choose between love and like say perfect health, I would choose perfect health. It's not something that I'll ever take for granted, you know. So yeah, I'm just relishing in that at the moment, and in the energy, and just taking myself out for dates. Every time I go out and someone says, oh, you know, you're dressed up, where are you going to? I'm like, I'm taking myself out on a date. I'm dating me. We are just a great match. So that's what's happening in the sphere. I'm dating myself right now. Okay, now on to the good stuff. So we've got all of my favorite things. So this month in TV, Fiona and Cake came out. So this is a spin-off of the series Adventure Time. And look, to be honest, I do like Adventure Time more. Fiona and Cake is a lot darker, so my kids were not so much as into it. It is a gender swapped was a gender swap season. So all the characters became humans, but gender swapped. And Lumpy Space Princess as Ellis P was still my favorite character. Oh my God. It doesn't matter what iteration of Lumpy Space Princess, this bitch right here, I will love them. I will love them. I love their sassiness and their attitude and their fabulousness and everything about them. I love them. So that was by far my favorite character. But I still enjoyed it. It's still getting to go back into the world. I believe they are doing a season 2. So we'll still be watching that. But that was really nice to watch that with the girls and get back into the world. Movies, we watched quite a few because the kids are on school holidays. So we watched movies. We watched Candy Cane Lane, which is a new Christmas movie with Eddie Murphy. And it's about the 12 days of Christmas and a very cheeky elf who gets him to make a deal and he's got to find his way out of the deal. I don't know what's going on with Eddie Murphy, guys, but like, I grew up obviously in the 80s and 90s and he was in his peak. He was in his peak, not just with his obviously stand-up comedy, but every movie he made was amazing. It doesn't matter what the genre was. He was amazing in it. I was expecting more comedy from him and I didn't get it. It wasn't, don't go in this for a lot of laughs. It's slightly humorous, but it's not as funny as I was hoping it to be. It's very on the tame side of humor as well. It's supposed to obviously be kid friendly. I don't know. I know the world is very PC at the moment, but I feel like sometimes that makes things less funny. It's those like movies that like, look, I also have a very dark sense of humor and I also don't get offended easily about anything, but I know like some people, there's topics that very much upset them, but I don't know. I've just found with humor, the comedy movies lately, they haven't been as funny. And I don't know if it's because of the whole PC thing or not, but I don't know. That's how I felt with this one. Like there were moments when it could have gone there and they didn't. But overall, it's a pleasant movie. You know, if I was going to rate it out of 5 stars, it would be a 3.5. Then I watched Percy Jackson 1 and 2 with the girls because they've just relaunched a new TV show. And I'd never seen Percy Jackson's. I wasn't a Percy Jackson girl. I was Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Hunger Games, I guess, were the big 3. So I watched it with the girls and my 12-year-old said, why is this so cringy? It's just so awkward. She just didn't like the acting in it. She felt like it was cheesy, but it was still entertaining enough that she did want to watch the second one. The kids thought they were all right. They were all right. Like, it's not amazing. It's not something that would have been like iconic, but I guess if you were a Percy Jackson fan, maybe the movies were good. I don't know. But after the movies, the kids were then like not interested in watching the series. So I don't know, I still might get them to give it a try. I said it is new, it's contemporary, but yeah, at the moment they're not keen. However, after watching Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, which which V did not actually like, she found it too violent for her and she can't stomach violence, just like her mama. And she was quite disturbed by it. But I said to her, Hunger Games wasn't as gruesome. Watch Hunger Games, I'm telling you, it's not going to be as visceral and grotesque as Ballad of Songbirds and Snake was. And so she gave it a go and she said, yeah, it wasn't that bad. Like they sort of pan away or the killing is on in the background. You're not really seeing like throats being slit and the blood, you know, coming all out. So she was like, oh, this is way better than Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And she just liked the movie better. Like she liked Katniss and she liked Peter. So she's Team Peter. It was interesting to see. I'm like, what team is she going to pick? And she's Team Peter. She's like, this guy's done everything for her. He was going to die for her. He cares about her. He doesn't ask anything of her in return. This other guy is sitting there like a man-child having a sulk. But what has he done for her? And I'm like, okay. So she doesn't even know him yet. She doesn't even know him yet, just from the first movie. So she was very much Team Peter. And I think she even liked Peter more than Katniss, but she still liked Katniss. And she's like, I love the name. And it's funny, I was actually contemplating calling one of my children Everdeen because I was such a stan. Back in the day, I was like, I'm going to call my child Everdeen. Didn't go with Everdeen, but then my daughter's like, Everdeen's really nice. And I just had to laugh. I'm like, you almost called that, my darling. That was almost your name. On to my favorite book. So this year I read 511 books. It's a lot of books. I read a lot of books. I'm trying to read less next year. Like I'm trying to halve that amount because out of that 511, I only had 9 5-star books, which is not a lot. I know I'm a bit of a harsher reader because I've read so many. You get books that just feel same because I've read that story so many times. And I know that has an effect, obviously, on my rating. But this month, my favorite book was Witchwood Not by Olivia Atwater. Okay, guys, read this one. Okay, so this is a gothic fantasy romance. You've got a badass bitch magician whose magic skill is cartomancy. Cartomancy. She doesn't do tarot cards. She does playing cards, but she divines with them. and just, I was eating it up. So we've got her, she's amazing, her name is Winifred, she reminds me a lot of this character right here. And then you've got a trickster fae love interest who's cheeky and conniving and very morally grey, and it's a slow burn and I liked it. Minimal spice, but there's tension, there is flirting, there is kissing, and there's a piano scene that was delicious. So besides that, you've also got haunted gothic mansions, which love that. Found family kind of vibe going on, necromantic sisters, lecherous lords, sleeping god-like creatures, and nefarious fae. It was just, it had the vibes, it had the setting, it had the characters, it had the dialogue. I laughed, I cried, I loved it. I will be reading the second, so highly recommend. Like, I hardly ever say like, give it a go, give it a go. And then we're going on to music. So I will start with my Spotify Wrapped because, you know, it's the end of the year, so why not? Most of my genres, as you can see, are just different flavors of pop, throw in some dance and some alt-Z. That was my genres for this year. I listen to people like Perth listen to music, I guess, so cool. My top songs were all by Måneskin from their new album Rush, which is my favorite album of all time. I don't think I listened to a single album more. I also had a CD in my car, so the amount of times I listened to the songs was much more than this, because every single time I drive, I play Måneskin's Rush album. So they were also, once again, my top artist. So the 5 top artists are Måneskin, Tove Lo, Miley Cyrus, Halsey, and Dua Lipa. So this is a list of bad bitches. That's how I feel about these women and gentlemen. Love them all, and it's just, it's a bop, it's a vibe. I like to dance most of the time, so I'll put something on that gets me moving my hips and having a bit of a wiggle in the kitchen. So this month, some new songs that I stumbled onto. Gorgeous, Gorgeous Girls by Lily Is That You. So this was a saying that went around. I don't know if everyone's familiar with it, but it'll be like, gorgeous, gorgeous girls love to read. Gorgeous, gorgeous girls take care of themselves. Just sort of a saying. But this is a bit of a, once again, it's a bit of a bop, it's a bit of a jam. And then Medusa by Kaya Jetty. Now, if you go and have a listen to this one, tell me. I honestly believe, I haven't looked it up, I should have, but I'm pretty sure they've sampled Arabian Nights from the Disney movie Aladdin, which is my favorite classical Disney movie out of all of the animated ones. It's just Genie. You can't beat Robin Williams as Genie. Brilliant. But I feel like they've sampled it for sure, but it's a very interesting song. Now, in my garden, my ex-boyfriend has started to clear it up. I will take some before and after videos to show you. I have had my roses blooming, which brings me so much bloody joy. My wildflower meadow, even though my dad mowed over it. He mowed right over that, thought they were weeds. Thankfully, I'd say about half of the flowers came back, so you can see them there, and I can see in the background more bits of green popping up. I will have to plant more seeds though, because yeah, unfortunately him going over it seemed to kill a lot off, and I do plan on expanding that area. I just want half of my front lawn to be a wildflower meadow, because I don't need that much lawn space to lie down on and have a picnic in, you know, and I'd rather just have a field of flowers. So I will be trying to expand that this summer. My veggie beds, my ex-boyfriend is getting them ready and prepped to plant a new season of stuff. I did no veggie bed stuff at all over the winter. I did nothing. And then the spring as well. I was like, I'm not going out there. I'm getting back into it. In the meantime, my ex-boyfriend's doing a good job of bringing it back to life. We got a lot of fruit too, which was delicious. So I can't wait to get more and more fruit every year from my own backyard. Purchases, I bought some sunnies. I know you remember me saying I was going to buy a pair of Chanel sunglasses. Not for $600, my friend. So, the ring light's going to make these look... Anyway, so I bought some gold Ray-Bans. They're giving me like 70s vibes. But that's what I went with for a fraction of the price. Maybe if I found a pair in an op shop, I consider them, but I just couldn't justify spending that amount of money even for myself on my birthday for a pair of sunnies. This month also bought advent calendars. So the kids and I decided we're going to try out a new advent calendar each year. I went with the Godiva one. So this was $70. The chocolates are good. So the quality of Godiva is great. However, would I purchase it again? No. So even though they had a bit of variety, they did end up repeating. It wasn't a different chocolate every day. I think there was about 6 different types of chocolates, and then they just repeated. It was a decent amount of chocolate, so I'm not saying it was bad, but it's just like, I probably wouldn't buy it again. But the quality was also great. So in terms of the box and everything, that was also great. Indy got a Super Mario advent calendar. She gave it a 5 out of 10. she was not a fan. So the quality was really bad. As soon as you ripped off one corner, like the whole thing would pop up, so you could sort of see what was coming. Guys, so we did a game where we would guess what she was going to get each day. And I was starting off with things like Princess Peach, Luigi. They're not in there. Tell me, how do you have a Mario box with no Luigi, no Princess Peach, no Bowser? But you've got Bullet Bill, you've got a bunch of like characters. I don't even know who they are. I don't even know what these things are. Like, how have you got all of these and you don't have the iconic band, like the original foursome? You know, at least she got Daisy and Mario, so she was happy with that, but like none of the others? Come on, guys. Like, so yeah, she was a bit disappointed, and like I said, 5 out of 10, would not recommend that one. V ended up picking a Sephora box, so this was pricey. I think this was $100. I'll put the prices up above how much I paid for these boxes. I haven't asked her what she thought about it. I'll put her rating down here, but I thought it was pretty decent. Look, there's a lot of stuff that she's not going to use. Like, she's not going to use a bright red lip liner. That's just not her jam, but she's probably going to hoard it and keep it. I did say like, hey, I could use that. Mummy needs a new red lip liner, but I love that kid, but she's not one of the most generous, doesn't share a shit. So I think she was pretty happy overall. There was stuff that she did use, obviously things that she already had, like she's already got beauty blenders, she's already got nail files, she's already got things like that. But there was enough, I think, in there for her that she didn't have, that she enjoyed. And like I said, the quality of the box was good and the size of the items was pretty decent. So probably would recommend that one. Favorite cafe that I went to. Okay, so for overall vibes, energy, aesthetic, it would be Dame in the CBD. Love this. This was like very upmarket, but not pretentious vibes. The food was pretty good, but then again, I had someone like hit on me while I was eating, and that kind of got me unsettled. So I can't give a proper like review because it changed the mood. I didn't even finish my food. So I would definitely go back again though. That is one that I would go back to again with a girlfriend, you know, have a mocktail and a nice fancy lunch. But the one I went to recently that had really good food and still nice decor, the vibe was okay, but it's a very small cafe, and I find like I feel a bit cramped when it's so tiny, but it's 4 kilo fish. So that LOM drink and the bulgogi sando were really excellent. So that was great. Probably, but then I probably wouldn't go there again, to be honest with you, because I don't like the smallness of it. I need to have a bit more space in a cafe, but that was delicious. Kickstarter, I didn't back any decks whatsoever. None. So didn't back any decks on Kickstarter, and I'm having an issue with one of the decks that I did back. It turns out that they cannot ship to Australia. Normally I can't even back a deck if it can't ship to Australia, but somehow I was able to, and the creator cannot, she says she doesn't know how to add Australia as a shipping option, and then she offered, hey, you can just Venmo me this very large amount of money. And I just was like, yeah, I don't feel comfortable. My gut was just like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, I like to go through these apps and these websites because they're safe, my credit card's safe, and you know, I just feel more protected that way. And I said that to them, and they haven't replied, and it's been 3 weeks, and I can't complete the survey or anything because I can't put my address in. I contacted Kickstarter to let them know, like, hey, I can't actually get this shipped to me. She said that she can't add Australia as an option, so I can't complete the survey. I need the pledge cancelled. And they said, only she has the power to do that. We can't do anything, so just keep messaging her. And I'm like, are you serious right now? Like, what? So this is the first like negative experience I've had. I'm going to message her again. I've messaged her 3 times, like once a week for 3 weeks, and nothing. And if she doesn't reply this week, I'm going to contact Kickstarter again. Otherwise, I'm just going to have to issue a chargeback with my credit card because I'm not going to get the deck, as they won't ship it to Australia. So yeah, I'm just going to have to, I guess, but I just don't even know how this happened because, like I said before, when I've got to back a deck, it'll say, sorry, only ships to this country, doesn't ship to your country. So like Tarot of Aphrodite, for instance, I really wanted that deck, didn't ship to Australia, couldn't back it. So yeah, I don't know if they did say ships internationally and then time comes only at US addresses, but it just, I don't know, it's a bit odd. So at the end of the day, it wasn't a huge amount. The deck was lower priced, so we'll see how that goes. But because of that I've just been like turned off like backing Kickstarter decks now. I'm like, I really want to make sure that there's a real deck I really, 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 really want before placing my money on there, because I know I've heard that you actually aren't even guaranteed to actually get the deck with Kickstarter. Like, it's a thing. You may get a deck, you may not. It's like you're putting faith and hope that you will get something for your donation, but won't always. And I guess this is the case where that's happened to me. So yeah, I'm being a bit mindful, because I do find that most Kickstarter decks do end up having extras left over and they go on to sell them anyway. But obviously you are running that risk that you might not get a hold of it. But in decks in general, I also pulled out a lot of like mass market pre-orders, because I got burnt a few times where the order came and it just wasn't for me and there wasn't enough information. So I have been with mass market pre-orders, unless they show the deck in full pretty much, waiting for other tarot tubers to do their reviews and their walkthroughs and then deciding to buy it. But I do want to just purchase less overall. I've got a decent collection now and I'm just not feeling like that voracious need to purchase this. Like I saw, for instance, Mother Witch, thanks to Logan, and loved that, but then went to the UK site and the price for that was over $200 Australian, because the pound and the Aussie dollar, the Aussie dollar comes out beaten up, and then the shipping and the taxes just, I was like, I can't be spending like $250 on a deck right now, like with my finances as they are. I'm in a bit more, discernment mode at the moment. But I think Logan did say that they are starting to stock it in like America and other places. So if it becomes affordable, I probably will get that one. But yeah, I'm just really weighing the decks at the moment. But speaking of decks, I will now go on to my crochet and deck review portion of all of the things I crocheted and the decks that I got in this month. So I'll see you for that. Hey guys, before I get into the decks and the crochet, I just have to give a friendly reminder to the winner of my giveaway to send me your details so I can give you the decks. If you haven't gotten back to me by the 15th of February, I will have to draw another winner. So please do send me an email. Otherwise, I will be announcing a new winner at the end of the month. But let's take a look at what I've made. So first up, I did do some little blanket squares. So with any leftover yarn, I tend to crochet up a puff jasmine stitch square that I will eventually all add into a giant blanket. So that's what I've done with excess yarn. The next thing I made was this top, and I made it with Shapier's Whirl in Blueberry Bam Bam. So I made it 3/4 sleeve. It ended up being a bit too tight. I did wash it and dry it a few times to see if I could stretch it, but it's just too tight for me. I don't want a top that tight. That's my own fault, I guess. I thought it would be a loose fit, but it's not. It's very taut. So I'm probably going to have to frog that and do another one. But that's not my kind of favorite crochet to do. The bigger the hook, the better for me. Using those little itty bitty hooks and doing fine stuff, it's not relaxing. I don't get to zone out as much. But anyway, so those were two things that I made. And let's have a look at some decks. So we've got the Green Witch's Oracle deck. I actually kept the box so I can actually talk about the box. I think the box is fab. It's got some embossing in the text. It's got illustrations. It's a very sturdy box as well. I think it's very pretty too. The inside is plain, but on the edges, as you can see, there's some lovely illustrations. So it is a beautiful box, but I decided that I'm not going to be keeping it. So I made this bag right here, and I'll bring it up close. So this is in Great Southern Yarn in their color A View from the Garden. I did granny cluster stitch for this one. It's easy, it works up quickly, but I probably wouldn't use it again for a bag. So it's just, I don't know, it's okay, but it's nothing amazing. So here we've got the Green Witch's Oracle deck, not to be confused with it's just the Green Witch deck, Oracle deck. They're very similar, but they're not same. So this is great. It is full color and it is gloss, and I did enjoy reading it and doing the spreads that were in it. With the write-ups, it's decent. It's not a huge amount, obviously. You've got the keywords up the top and then the meaning and then a reflection down the bottom, but it is lovely. And I'd say that you don't have to read the guidebook, but I still like to. The only thing that really shit me though was that it's not in alphabetical or numerical order. So you do have to flip through every time to try and find where the card's written up, and I just don't understand why. white. I was like looking at these cards, like, is there a number on here that I'm just not seeing? But I can't see anything. So yeah, I don't know what that's about, but that was probably the downside of this book. So let's have a look at the card. I think they're beautiful on the back. They've got that very dark cottagecore vibe to them. So stunning. I edged mine in a green because I felt like there's a lot of green on the cards. The cardstock is very papery, so it's not the best. It's a very just like typical mass market cardstock. So I don't love the cardstock, but it's a manageable size. There's a decent amount of cards. I do like the illustration style. I think it's very sweet. Some people who don't like insects probably will not like this deck. So apologies for that, because I know there's some people that really don't like insects. I like the name cards for all of the topics of the cards. I think are really cool, and obviously to do with the earth. And I also love that, like I said, it's got the keywords on the front. So if you don't feel like going to the guidebook, you don't have to do it. Do I love the borders? I don't know. I'm very ambivalent about them. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them. But you'd have to show me like alternatives for me to be able to really tell you what I would prefer. But otherwise, it's fine. Like I love, this is my favorite illustration. It's just very soothing to me. But yes, like it's got that witchy, folky, woodsy kind of vibe to it. Is this a deck that I would probably keep forever? I don't know. Because like I said, we've already got a deck that's called the Green Witch Oracle. There are a lot of decks in my collection kind of like this. Well, none have this image. This is very unique because I have such affinity for nature decks in general. But at the moment, I did enjoy my time. I think it read really well. I really enjoyed reading it with the guided hand tarot. That was my favorite tarot pairing for it. It's because they have it. This has a very gentle, quiet energy to it, but the messages themselves have like a serious tone. That's how I feel anyway. But overall, I did enjoy my time with it. It's staying in my collection for now. I'm not head over heels in love with it, but I think it's nice, and I am happy that I bought it. And this one was the Green Witch's Oracle. All right, so this bag here is in Great Southern Yarn, once again, in the color Anemone. So this is done in braid stitch, which, oh my God, I'm not even in. Yep, there we go. Got it eventually. I did a little glitter button on there. Braid stitch, which I probably wouldn't do it again. You can see it's a bit different on this side. So this side is flatter. This side is more raised. It has more of a texture, but I wouldn't recommend it for tarot bags. I will not be using it again. And in here, I've got the 21st Century Bellini Oracle. So I'll show you the one-page booklet thing. This is going to get wrecked so bad. It's going to be something I have to print again and again. I might chop it down and laminate it, I think is what I'm planning on doing. But pretty much you've got 3 different ways to read the meanings, depending on how you've used the deck. I know it's not a lot, but it's enough. You know, like it does the job. So this is the English version. The creator does have a website. I just saw it now. I have not been there, but maybe, you know, check that out, see what resources are there. These backs are freaking gorgeous. I love them. I think they're mad. This obviously is not a color match. I would have loved to have gone something in black, white, and then this color. You know, that would have been the vibe. This I matched to a particular deck, so I would have shown the photo already. If I don't match things to the backs, I tend to just pick one card out of the deck and match it to that. And that's what I did with this one. I edged mine in a, like, I don't know what you call that. I was trying to do this color here. So that's what I've done. It doesn't, the texture did not stick super well. Like the edges are quite rough. This was a Kickstarter deck. This was a total gamble for me. I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into. These are very big. As you can see, they are bigger than my hand span. So they're longer than my hands. You probably would have had a little laugh in my walkthrough when I was trying to figure out how to shuffle it. So what I've ended up doing is I kind of do this. They do clump because they're that satin cardstock that is a bit clumpy, and I'll do that a couple of times and I'll eventually get a card. So I don't, the shuffle experience really isn't there with this deck, okay? It's just not. But do I like it? Yes, I do. I just really do. And I am toying up in the future, obviously, when I am super rich, to use the miniatures that the creator sent to all of us for our tarot journals to actually just print a smaller size deck for myself. So that way I can use it more. Because I think if this was in a smaller size, this would be a desk deck for me because I just really enjoy it. I love the collage. I love that it's just so random in a lot of ways. Obviously, there is a bit more of a dark and moody color palette in general to this. I just love seeing these. I'm going to call them yayas because that's what they look like to me in general. But these cards were designed to be altar size cards, and I just don't use my deck in that way. I don't ever put them up. So yeah, like I said, one day when money is just flowing, I will be making a small version of this deck and just probably just keeping it in my bag because I love it. And I think over time, I would end up remembering what the French words translate to in English, but also the meaning of them as well. Because like I said, there's only a sentence for each one in the 3 questions. So I think with just enough use, I remember that as well. But I think I'd form on here's the card that I match the colors to. I think that I would be able to do that. But at the moment, yeah, it's not super intuitive for me because like I said, I don't always know what the word means. And then the pictures themselves, I can get a vibe, but I'm not getting like the divinatory meaning or the exact advice that I'm looking for. But I think some other people who can just go off images alone probably could. It's probably evocative enough for you to, you know, read intuitively. But for me, no, I do have to consult that piece of paper. I learnt new words, Panatis, which I never learned before. So it taught me, it expanded my vocabulary. And yeah, I really like it. I loved it with the beginner oracle. They have a very similar kind of energy. I think this one, I don't know, there's I'm going to say Frenchness to it, but that's what it feels like to me. I'm feeling like a French vibe. But out of my tarot decks, some were fine, but I don't have anything that I think really was like best buds with it. So I haven't found its tarot mate yet. So it's something I'm going to keep an eye out in the future because I would really love to find a tarot deck and just have them be dedicated to each other. This is one of those situations where I'm just like, I just want to use this with the tarot and that's it. I don't want to use it with anything else. So at the moment, I have just been doing a single card pull because yeah, I just don't want to use it with other decks. It's just on its own, but I have enjoyed it. Like I said, don't enjoy the shuffling process. It's a bit hard to pick a card. And sometimes I have found myself just separating them all out because like I said, they do clump together because of the Saturn cardstock. But I just want to get my like energy on each individual card and then I'll go again. but yeah, some decks it doesn't matter, you know, like you will jump those hurdles for it because you just enjoy it so much. And this is one of those like, it's got Jeff Goldblum, Sylvie, bruh, come on, keep going. Yeah, it's welcome hasn't worn off yet. And it has been a lot of fun. So I am enjoying it a lot. And but yeah, going forward with purchasing decks, I don't know obviously if there's going to be decks for sale. I know I get a lot of questions like where do I buy it from? I just say keep an eye on the Kickstarter page because I think most creators, if they do have excess stocks for sale, they will end up putting a link up there somewhere either in their profile or on the page saying like you missed out on the Kickstarter, purchase them from here. You know, so it could be the case with this one. But yeah, this was just a complete, I don't know what the original 21st century Berlin Oracle is like, but I love this one. I will start with some decks. So we've got the Klimt Tarot Pocket Edition here. I think the box is super cute. I like the box. Well done on the box. I'll just put that over there. And then you've got the guidebook. So it's this way, which is interesting. I don't love this way personally. It comes in multiple languages. And for instance, here you have for Ace of Pentacles, new wealth, money, material control, opportunities for gain, bad relationship with money, poorly used riches, squandering and miserliness. So it has just a couple of keywords for upright and reversed. So it's fine for a little mini book. Comes with a title card. These are the backs. I think they're cool. I like them. They're cool. It's very skinny and long. So it's a bit of a weird shape. It's got gold foiling on it, so that's lovely. So I was just looking for a new pocket deck for my desk because I just didn't really want to keep using the 78 tarot animal because I didn't love it. So I was trialing some out and I have seen some Klimt artwork and I do like it. But I think this one definitely works better in bigger cards because the pictures are so detailed. Like that's the most famous image, obviously. But secondly, there were just so many cards in here like this one I just don't like. I don't like them. And so I don't want to see them. Like, they creep me out. And yeah, I decided, I don't think this is a deck for me. Like, I did read with it and it was just okay. There were no profound readings. And it's not my thing. I do, like I said, some of the cards I think are stunning. But there's just a lot of them that, like this one, I don't enjoy. And I just thought, I'm not going to have this on my desk using it every day. And I just don't see myself being called to use it, which is why I decided to give it away in the tarot giveaway to somebody else. Okay, so here is the next bag, and this bag, oh my God, this was such a torturous bag to do. So I think this is called camel stitch. I can't quite recall, but it is such a tight stitch. So it's sort of supposed to look like knit that it just hurt my fingers so badly. I hated every second that I did this. It came out wonky. I think I dropped stitches along the way. It's just was a very unpleasant experience, and I don't remember what yarn I used because I've lost it. I lost some things on my phone. So in it, I have the Citadel. So this is one of those cases where this is a mass market version. Everybody else was raving about it, so I thought I'll get in on it. It is kind of like a playing game deck. Like, you can play a game with it. You can use it to formulate your characters and their backstories. I think it's kind of like a D&D kind of thing, but there's a structure to it that you can use, and you can use it in a way that is not a divination deck. So you can use it for game playing. I think that's what I was trying to say. You could also possibly use it for creating archetypes and characters in fiction books. Like, it has multiple uses, and for a mass market deck, I think it's just done so well. It was originally an indie deck, so I think that's why. But it's got a lot of spreads, very themed spreads. So it is really cool. The guidebook is fantastic. I'll just leave that there. These are the backs. So I do like the backs. It reminds me so many of like fantasy novels, just the aesthetic of it. It's just very fantasy era. You've got all the symbols there. I edged mine in a red because, yeah, I think the original was also edged in red, if I believe. And it's got beautiful copper foiling on the front, but it's a limited color palette. It's this it's not an octagon, it's a stretched out octagon. It's an 8-sided deck, so it is a little bit awkward to shuffle. It's just on a typical mass market kind of matte cardstock. I think it is beautiful. The illustrations are lovely. I love that they do put 2 keywords on the actual card. So here you've got about the archetype of, like, say, the gambler, and then you've got upright and reversed meanings. It is well done. It reads well. Like I said, it's very versatile deck. You can use it for so many things. For some reason, I'm just not enamored with it. Like, I'm not in love with it. It's, like I said, because it's got such great functionality, I am absolutely keeping it in my collection. I can't pinpoint what it is. I think it's just a vibe thing. It's just an energy thing because it's beautiful. It's well done. Like I said, it's functional. There's no reason why I shouldn't be in love with it, but for whatever reason there is. And I think it's sort of probably why I wasn't drawn to get it for so long, even though I saw it everywhere. And then because it's a mass market deck, I eventually thought, I'll just give it a go. Everyone loves it so much. Maybe you will too. I don't, but I am keeping it. For how long? I'm not sure. At the moment, I still enjoy it, and I do tend to use it though with other decks. So this is not a deck that I go to on its own, like, oh, I just want to have a single card pull from you today. It's a supplemental deck for me. So I pull it out when I'm using another deck that I think would go with it energetically or visually or thematically. And that's when I grab it. It's not one that I'm drawn to on its own because, yeah, for me, there's just some weird kind of disconnect there. But no, I think it's an amazing deck, honestly. So many people really love this deck. It's very beloved. And it's so many cards, which fantastic. Like, wow. I'm in awe. Like, after writing a guidebook, I'm like, wow, man. Hats off to everybody who just puts that much effort and that much depth to their decks. But yeah, this was a Citadel Oracle. Okay, so next up we have this bag. So this I did in something called seed stitch. Seed stitch is lemon peel stitch. So I have found out that in crochet, there are a lot of stitches that just happen to have multiple names. Like, another one is linen and moss, and I didn't realize that they were the same stitch until I was doing it. I'm like, this reminds me of that other stitch I did. So the seed stitch is lemon peel, unfortunately. I was in a mood to try new stitches. So that's why I was kind of disappointed that it ended up being another one. But like lemon peel is one of my go-tos for bags if I can't be bothered learning a new one, because it works out really well. It's sturdy. So this yarn is by Pretty Twisted Knots. It's in the colored frilled neck. It's 8 ply and it's lovely. Like they're very, very lovely. And in it, so see, I try to match the backs. I think it's pretty decent considering I didn't go and buy a new one. This is the Love of Spreads deck by Amethyst Ascension. So I have been using this a lot. Like I am in a bit of a spread now craze, I guess. You know, when I go to read, I'm not doing single card spreads at the moment because this just came in. So I'm like making my way through it. I think until I've done every spread, I'm probably not gonna put it down. I don't know if anyone else is the same way. If I got something new, I have to like use it in all its glory, like its full capacity, until I am satisfied, and then I can put it away. I can't do anything half-assed. I'm like all in or all out. I'm not a moderation girl in any aspect. So yeah, I've been having a blast like going through it, even though it's like not a new moon Sagittarius. I still like, I'm doing them. I'm doing them all the spreads. So yeah, this is an indie deck. It was on Make Plain Cards, and it's the Love of Spreads Oracle by Amethyst Ascension. Okay, so next up we've got the I Ching Oracle. So this was the Kickstarter one. This book is beautiful. Like, holy crap, man, unbelievable. I can't imagine how much this cost to make. So it's in dual languages, it's full color, it's gloss. There's a lot of information about the structure of the I Ching, which I'm going to be honest, I still kind of found it confusing. I'm not sure if this is translated very basic kind of language and a bit cold. I just found like the general energy of the writing, but I'm still a bit confused as to how I Ching works completely. And at the moment, I just don't have the brain capacity to go elsewhere to read more textbooks on it. I believe they actually use coins as well, not just obviously the card version. But anyway, like with the hexagrams and the different lines combining, like it's very full on. It's a full system. And yeah, so I don't really have a full grasp of the system. The cards themselves, so they're separated. We've got an overall picture and they've rated it by stars. And then they've got fortune. So this is a 3 out of 5 stars. So if you want a really good card for a fortune, it would be a 5 out of 5 star for fortune. And then you've got relationships and health, and then a summary to sum it up. So I think this is really great. This has sort of dictated how I use the deck. So I'm not making a bag for this one because this book is just so heavy and big that it's just going to stretch out and ruin every yarn bag that I would make for it. So it's got these edges, which I don't love. They're softer than the usual glossy gold gilding. So it's not as sharp as you would say like a mass market gilding is. I love the backs. They're so pretty, but they're so out of character for the rest of the deck in terms of the color. Like these rich purples are not in the deck. So I'm surprised they didn't go for this color scheme more, because this tends to be the main color scheme. That being said, I think they're absolutely beautiful. The matte cardstock is lush. It's gorgeous. It's a good quality deck. I love the artwork in this. I love it. Like every card is a little piece of art that I would put in a frame. I absolutely adore it. So you've got the picture of the I Ching image up there. I don't know the terminology, hexagram, all these things. I'm not sure what the terminology is for this, but you've got what it looks like, the number of it, obviously in the other language, and you've got the keyword of that down the bottom. So I did play with this deck. Oh, before I move on, I will show you. So this deck does have some spreads in there. And of course I did them because that's part of my thing. So this one, for instance, 12 squares spread. So it's in the different houses of your life. So I did them both. And this one here, which was really fun. I got the worst cards. I was going to put it out there. It was an overall quite negative for both of them. Both of them are very negative. So I don't know how many of these cards, if you were to go through them all and say positive or negative, I have a feeling it would skew more to negative. I just have that feeling. But they're beautiful. I would definitely, in regards to using this, I'm probably planning to use it more as a monthly pull card. So what's the energy of the month? Or if I want to use it on a bit more of a regular basis, I would pull based on what facet I want to look at. So I'd be like, show me a card for love this week. or show me a card for my finances or my health. So I would zone in on that one particular one than trying to say one card to encompass everything. I find that personally, I much prefer the readings when I chose one card for health, one card for love, one card for finances. And what I'll do though, after pulling a card for love, I'll put it back in the deck because maybe the health for this is also what's going to be coming up. So that is the way that I prefer to use it. So like I said, I would use this as a monthly spread, one card for the overall energy of the month, you know, the overall energy, one card for love for the month, one card for health and finances. And that's how I am planning on using it. It just doesn't, I just don't really want to use it as a daily divination or just in a typical spread for me personally. I just rather use it as an overarching energy of the month because I just feel like that's what it's, in terms of how the guidebook is written, that's the easiest application of it for me. But I just seriously, visually, I am so in love with it. It just beautiful, the simplicity of the imagery. Like I said, even the harsher cards, they're just still so beautiful to look at. I keep forgetting sometimes to actually look at the keyword because I'm like, and then it'll be like death or like strife, conflict, obstruction. I'm like, God damn it. So caught up in the beauty that sometimes I don't read the, the keyword down there, but just, oh my God, I could look at it all day. Like I said, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And like I said, stunning quality. So I am going to keep it, even though it's not a deck that, like I said, I'm going to go to all the time and pull out. I'll still be using it at least once a month, and I'll see how I go with using it in that way in my practice. But I think even if I wasn't going to use it, this will just be one of those decks that I keep as a collector's item because it's just so beautiful and so well done. I have no desire to look at any more I Ching stuff. I think this is it for me. I might try and study it a bit more later on to understand the actual structure completely. But in terms of cards out of the I Ching, this one definitely tickles my pickle. And, I'm shaking the camera. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. But yeah, absolutely stunning, and we'll be keeping it. Next up, we've got so here in this little bag, I love this button. It's so cute. I hope it's coming up. It's horrible lighting here today. So this yarn, I don't know what it is. I've lost it. It is a 4-ply. I've done it in Suzette stitch. So it's got just beautiful sort of sorbet pastel colors. It's just very summery. And inside it, I have my Mother Tarot. So this is the guidebook. It's a little square, just like the deck, with one full color picture. These are very interesting interpretations. So this is, I would not say this is a beginner's deck, but I do like to read them. Sometimes though, I just disregard them completely if I just don't feel like that's applicable to me. But I generally, because they're so unique and different, I generally read this intuitively, this deck. The backs are stunning. I think they're so beautiful. It's got that shiny gilding, but once again, it's just less sharp than mass market. And it's on a beautiful matte cardstock. So the quality is gorgeous. And even though it's a square deck, it does shuffle well. My only issue is like I have to put everything back upright. I can't have cards topsy-turvy. But this deck is set in a way that you can actually read them based on which direction they are facing. So if it goes to the east, it's a different thing if it goes to the west, the north. So here it is right here, card orientation meanings. So depending on how the card comes up, you can look here and associate these with it. But I just don't bother doing it that way. I'm an upright reader and that's how I prefer it. Sometimes I just go with the energy. I'll feel like this is the reverse meanings of the card or it's the upright. It's all intuitive in that way. The artwork is stunning. It's so bright and colorful, but I wouldn't call this a happy deck, so to speak. I wouldn't say it's super positive. I think it's quite balanced. It's just that the image-wise, it is very beautiful and colorful and bright and happy looking. But I absolutely love it. So as soon as I saw this on YouTube, I was like, wow, I've got to get that. Because that is just really appealing to me. I like the different representations that are in here. And it's just a delight to use. I just really enjoy my time with it. When I first got it, I was playing with it a lot, like all the time. That's how I know that I have instantly bonded with the deck if I just don't want to put it away because I just want to keep having a play. But yeah, I love all the images. I love the beautiful colors. I love the quality of the deck. Like the guidebook, like I said, it's interesting. I wouldn't say it's like, amazing. It's just not, but it is still just all well done. It's very well executed. And this one goes with a lot of decks. So that's also very handy. And because it's a smaller size, I think it's easier for people to also hold. But like I said, I do end up having to put it back in order sometimes because some of the cards do get twisted and turned around. But yeah, I have really enjoyed my time with it. I know it comes in a black and white version as well, but I just can't. The colors are just gorge. Like, it's just so full of life and so vibrant. I don't think I could go do the black and white one after having this one. But yeah, I absolutely love it, and it will be staying in my collection 100%. And it is the Mother Tarot. Okay, so here we've got Shades of Love by Amethyst Ascension or Rochelle. So this is the Shades of Love Oracle that I got off the Make Playing Cards, yeah. And it is a love-themed deck. So I don't know about y'all, but whenever I do readings for people, I'd say 9 out of 10 want a love reading. That's what they want to know about. So I was like, oh, maybe I should get a love-themed deck that's very specific to relationships, to give very clear love messages. So when Rochelle made this deck, I was like, perfect. You know, now whenever I go and I read for people, I bring this along with me because I inevitably will ask about love, what's coming for love, or what are they thinking, or where's this relationship going, yada, yada, yada. And this is the deck that I pull out for that one. So that is the Shades of Love Oracle. So we're going to start with this top that I made. I actually completely frogged this top after I finished because I just did not like the fit. But let me tell you about the yarn used. So the yarn in this one was Etrafil in Baby Cashmere. These are cotton, both cottons, in BC005, and Sublime Baby Cashmere in 0357. So originally this was a mushroom shaped top and I just didn't like it. So I frogged it, did it in lemon peel stitch, and I'm much happier with how it turned out. So I think it's way better. The next thing I did was I frogged the cardigan that I had made with the mulberry silk, and instead I made a house dress. So I just did a color block dress to wear around the house. I think in hindsight, I probably should have done much thicker straps because I didn't really compensate for how heavy the dress is. The dress is very heavy. So I might have to reinforce those straps at some point. I think I'm going to wear it a bit and see how it holds up, but I might have to reinforce them so they can take the brunt of the weight of the dress. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. And then we've got this bag here. So I haven't put the deck in it. So I made this for my Solace Oracle. So I just went with browns and purples, like what I had in my collection, to make a bag for it. So this yarn, I'll show you the button up close, which is purple and sparkly. The yarns that I used for this one are Melbourne City Dye Works in Whiplash and Olan in Frond. And I did it in popcorn stitch. This stitch, my dudes, I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It's so thick, like it's such a thick bag. It's very sturdy. Oh, is it yarn hungry? It gobbled up the yarn so much. So therefore also as well, it took a long time to make because the little popcorns just take so many go arounds. But I will never use this stitch again, but it was fun. It was fun to do one time. And if I was going to do it for any deck, I thought I'll do it for my own. And I'm really happy with it. I had to do it big enough, obviously, to contain the guidebook and the deck. But that was the bag for my Solace Oracle. Okay, so I thought after seeing Bebe from Pure Red Ballet show some stickers, I thought I'd just show you. I got some stickers in. And I got these because I want to mod a deck that Bebe modded, and she stuck stickers over the cards she did not like. And I'm like, that's genius. Like, that's very, very clever and smart. So I'm not sure, obviously, what I want to put on them, but I thought, okay, I'll grab some vintage pin-up women, I guess. So these are those ones. And then I thought, okay, or maybe some art stickers. I might want to use those. Like whatever, obviously, I don't use to mod the deck, I can just use for my journal since, you know, I'm starting to try to actually like decorate my diary. I've watched so many people's videos and it looks so effortless, and then I try and it's like, look, a toddler did this. That's what it I don't have the skills yet. Digital collage is so different to sticker collage. I just don't I don't know how to do it, but so these are just all famous artworks. And then I got some of these. If anyone knows where like get really good stickers from, let me know, because I was like, what do I get? So I just went for ones that had like tons. In the past, I buy like individual sticker sheets from Etsy, but this time around I was like, just give me a lot of like cute, I guess, cottagecore, cozy, retro-y kind of stickers. My dad's here, by the way. I got these ones pretty much based on this one sticker because this reminds me of a book called I think it's like The Very Hungry Bear and the Tiny Mouse and the Big Red Ripe Strawberry. And I loved that book as a kid, and this was very reminiscent. And then I got all these ones. So this is just a bunch of like very watercolory flowers, I guess, and butterflies and women. So there's lots of double ups I can see here. You never know. Sometimes with stickers, you don't know what it's going to be like. At least the other ones, they all seem to be different, but this one seems to be repeats. Like, they are pretty. I'll just have to use them separately, like a hand and a rose. That's fine. But yeah, more romantic-y. I guess the kind of stickers I like are sort of either romantic or gothic or vintage or retro. That tends to be the vibe, or maybe dark academia, cottagecore, like love affair-y. And yeah, so these are just some of the stickers that I've gotten. Okay, so here are some others. So I won't take these out of the packets because I don't want to go through all of them, but these are like, I guess, vintage or art, like deco kind of stamp ones. These ones are like botanical journal kind of nature ones. This is cinematic, so these are supposed to be kind of like cinema posters. And then this one is more fungi and insects, so made to look like vintage stamps. So those were these ones.